This man, Trevor Lawrence, and this is his hometown in Georgia, is going to be the #1 pick. Defeat the noise, rule the quiet. Yeah, I know it's a Bose ad, but whatever. Official sponsor of the National Football League. He is going to be #1, we think. I mean, we're 55 hours away. Ian Rapoport live in Cleveland. James Palmer on the ground there in Jacksonville, where the Jaguars are getting ready to celebrate whomever that quarterback may be. And Ian, I know you spoke to Urban Meyer, even though we just assume it is Trevor Lawrence, regardless, whichever one they do select. They have done a lot of work. This isn't just, oh, yeah, everyone says Trevor Lawrence, let's take him.
No, what the Jacksonville Jaguars have tried to do over the last several months, ever since Urban Meyer got hired, was make sure that he is the right choice. And by the way, Meyer would not say it's going to be Trevor Lawrence. Expect them to use all the time on Thursday to kind of soak it up a little bit before giving the card in and then, presumably Trevor Lawrence. But anyway, Urban Meyer told me their process was this. They narrowed it down to the top 3 quarterbacks on their board. That would be Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and Justin Fields from Ohio State. They then put the quarterbacks through 2 Zooms each. And what they did was very simple. They gave them each some plays, some of their plays, opened their playbook a little bit, and then plays that the quarterbacks had run in college. And they talked them through it, asked them to recall, just wanted to see their football intelligence. That was one of the Zooms. The other one was really just about getting to know them as a person. Meyer told me he was really impressed with all 3 quarterbacks, and again, would not say it's Trevor Lawrence, but did say that when he spoke to Lawrence, he was really impressed with how real he was and the maturity as well. Safe to say the Jaguars love whichever quarterback they'll end up taking.
Yeah, and there was a meeting late last week when Shad Khan was here, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, in town. And he met with general manager Trent Baalke. He met with Urban Meyer. And my understanding is they are all on the same page with what they're doing with that first overall pick. And Ian mentioned the Zoom work that they did. They used a ton of different methods on how they wanted to do background checks on all these players. Remember, no combine, no visits. Urban Meyer wanted his staff to get very creative, to my understanding, in a variety of ways to try to get as much information on all of these quarterbacks and these prospects as well as they could. Sports science played a big part of this, to my understanding, as well, about how they felt about taking care of their bodies and how they were going to go about it once they're at the NFL level. And when they went through all of the Zooms and all of the evaluations, general manager Trent Baalke said that it is almost where, Andrew, the stars aligned perfectly. They did not find a single negative in their evaluation of Trevor Lawrence, from his character to the intangibles to the physical skills. And also, one more note, owner Shad Khan did get on Zooms with Trevor Lawrence to talk to him personally in this draft process as well.
Shad Khan, who says that he knows this pick is going to redefine really his tenure as owner of the Jaguars and set the course for the next 10 to 15 years. So Trevor Lawrence, perhaps, but also setting the tone is building around whomever that quarterback may be. And because of the Jalen Ramsey trade, because of the Ronnie Harrison trade, because of the Yannick Ngakoue trade, Ian Rapoport, they have 10 picks starting Thursday with which to do that.
Oh, endless picks for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and it does seem like we haven't talked very much about #1. We're going to talk about the Jaguars all throughout the draft. They have a ton of picks, but what's fascinating to me, Andrew, is how they are building this offense around their soon-to-be new rookie quarterback. And remember, they hired Brian Schottenheimer, they hired Darrell Bevell. Both of those guys have a lot of experience in drafting young quarterbacks and then crafting an offense around them, just to make sure that they have everything they possibly could need and just to give them the best opportunity to succeed. That is exactly what the Jacksonville Jaguars are doing, and they'll kick that into gear after the draft.
All right, kick it into gear after the draft, and Trevor Lawrence already has a fantastic toaster, among other things. The Jaguars fans got him off the wedding registry, him and Marissa, starting a new life in Florida. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, James. That takes us to the second overall pick. The New York Jets could have been #1. They're not. They're #2, so we think, hi there, Kim Jones, live in Florham Park, think that pick is Zach Wilson. All signs pointing in that direction.
Absolutely, Andrew. But first, I need to tell you how happy I am and we are to be here at the Jets facility. We're out of the living room. Dominic Orlando on camera, Chuck Calhoun audio, and Christine Martin, the terrific producer, also known as Rio, by the way, and she actually prefers that, so we call her Rio. We are here and are anticipating Joe Douglas continuing to put his stamp on this franchise, and Thursday night, every expectation, Andrew, is that he will do it in the biggest way possible. Zach Wilson of BYU, the absolute expected pick. We saw that at his pro day when Joe Douglas, he was beaming underneath that mask. He did not camouflage it. Robert Saleh also at that pro day. So that is certainly the expectation as we stand here on this glorious afternoon in Florham Park, New Jersey.
It is glorious, and you have a great New York City-based crew there that I'm always happy to work with, whether it's in Florham Park or in East Rutherford during ITC for the Jets or the Giants. Great to have the band back together. Kim, send my best to all of them. Kim Jones outside the Jets building. They are picking number 2. Let's get to the 49ers. They are picking number 3 in just under 55 hours. And we are led to believe it is going to be a quarterback. It's Justin Fields or Trey Lance or is it Mac Jones? If you think John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan were going to tip their hand yesterday, you are wrong.
I told Kyle from the beginning that he and I are doing this together. And when it comes to quarterbacks, I'd be foolish, I believe. We have a head coach who's also our offensive play caller. I will always defer to him. And, what's cool about that is that Kyle, I think, respects my opinion enough. He always wants it. And ultimately, we arrive at decisions. We will. And come Thursday, we'll have a pick that hopefully makes everyone proud, but that will be judged in years to come. And we've done our best to make sure that it's a great decision for this franchise.
It was an interesting press conference yesterday, one in which Kyle Shanahan would not guarantee that any of us are going to be alive on Sunday. Here's hoping Mike Yam is among the living. He is with us outside Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. Fingers crossed here, Mike. Also, seemingly a lot of anxiety in the questions yesterday, as in people are on edge there, Kyle and John, that you might take Mac Jones.
Andrew, first of all, I hope I am alive on Sunday. So you're right. Fingers crossed from that perspective. And I got to be honest with you, man. I live in San Francisco. I've been here for the last 10 years. And I don't remember a time where there was this much of a negative energy around something that hasn't even happened just yet. In fact, I was driving down to Santa Clara. I'm listening to sports talk radio. And it is just mind-boggling to me how passionate the fan base is, just freaking out that yesterday's pre-draft Zoom was the under-the-radar way of Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch saying, you know what, we don't care what you guys think. We're still taking Mac Jones. Now, to be clear, Andrew, that's the exact opposite of what John Lynch was saying and that Niners brass. The reality is they said, look, we love the fan base. We appreciate how passionate that this team and this fans really are surrounding this football team. But look, we're tasked with trying to make the best decision possible. And you kind of heard it in a little bit in that soundbite. This is still a team that's trying to win a Super Bowl right now. If the guy they pick, they go and win, Andrew, it's going to be all good. And Shanahan and Lynch both know that's reality.
Yeah, or if it's Trey Lance, then he sits a year behind Jimmy Garoppolo, and they were telling the truth on March 26th that Jimmy is our quarterback this year. Yes. It's all one giant smokescreen. Or maybe it isn't. Mike Yam,
or not.
outside Levi Stadium there with the 49ers. Thank you, Mike. More from San Francisco a little bit later. Bucky Brooks has a new mock draft out, everybody. Ooh, Bucky saved the best for last. He's got Trey Lance going 3. Like I said, Kyle Pitts, who's set to join us shortly, going 4. But then he has the Bengals going Sewell, and he has, wait for it, Micah Parsons at 7. But it gets more fun than that. He has Justin Fields at 15 to the Patriots, and Mac Jones at 19 to the Washington football outfit. Najee Harris at 16 to the Cardinals. That one is interesting. Ian Rapoport back with us live in Cleveland at the draft stage behind him. The Steelers, Ian, are picking 24. Yesterday, Kevin Colbert talked about a running back and how the game has changed here. Bucky has Najee at 16. Is he going to be there for the Steelers?
I would say it's going to be close, and most people I've spoken with believe that is going to be the Steelers' pick. It's a favorite of mock drafts. They need a running back. He is perfect for them, and I would say many people have him as the top running back in the draft. There's really a lot to like there, but not everyone. And I've really been fascinated, Andrew, at the running back order for most teams. I thought for most teams it would be Harris, Travis Etienne, and then everyone else. Javonte Williams from North Carolina is the top back on a couple different boards. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he goes in the first round along with Najee Harris. He's a banger as well. Etienne more of a pro-ready passing back. A little bit of a interesting jumble there at the running back position that we'll be watching.
Javonte Williams, who told us last week on NFL Now that everyone back home still calls him Pookie and that we are allowed to call him Pookie. All right, Ian, you and Tom Pelissero had Pookie.
Right.
You're allowed to call him Pookie. If you get him on draft night, please be sure to address him as such. Caleb Farley, let's talk about him. Because, Ian, most people agree, if healthy, not most, many, he is the best corner in the draft. But we haven't seen him on a football field in over 500 days. Didn't work out at Pro Day. He's had multiple back procedures, and there are legitimate concerns about his health.
Yeah, there are, and you nailed it right there. He's had 2 different back surgeries. Last one, Dr. Robert Watkins, microdiscectomy, 16-week recovery, which means he should be ready right around the start of training camp. It's going to be close. He did receive a really good prognosis. However, as you mentioned, it's a back injury. It's a second back injury, certainly giving some teams pause. Had he been completely healthy, I would have expected him to be the top cornerback in this draft. As of right now, he is likely going to fall, possibly to late first round. There are some people who believe that he's going out of the first round. I do not. And Agent Drew Rosenhaus told me yesterday he believes firmly that Caleb Farley will be gone by pick 20. Obviously, we will be watching this very closely.
That is the job of an agent, to make certain that everyone believes his client should be taken as high as possible. As a former patient of Dr. Watkins, I can attest to his work, but I have not seen Caleb Farley's move. Ian Rapoport, our NFL Network.